Welcome to Me Time with Mind Escape Vibe, where it is your time to be kind to your mind. I'm excited for my guest today, Jennifer Chapman, a former sales executive who pivoted from the corporate world to solopreneur after overcoming multiple traumatic events and working with her own coach to find acceptance and to embrace the new version of herself. Jennifer works with individuals and teams to help build self-awareness, resilience, and love of self, as well as inspiring others to overcome victim mentality and embrace your inner warrior. Jennifer, welcome. I'm looking forward to chopping it up.
I love it.
Jennifer, oh, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Renee, for having me. I'm already so excited about this conversation we're going to have.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. She's in my neck of the woods. Well, and around where I grew up, I was born and raised in Indiana. So it's just a matter of kindred spirits here
It
on the
really is.
podcast.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So I like to start the show with asking all guests, what's your mental victory vibe celebration? And that's something you've done for yourself, an activity maybe today or this week to pour into your own cup. So,
Mm,
Jennifer, what have you done for yourself lately?
Such a good opening question, Renee. And timing is everything, always. And I got to say, I haven't been providing myself certain levels of self care that I had been in the past when I had a job working, where I had the time and more financial means to just go grab a facial, right? Go get a massage, always have my nails done, hair, all the things. And since I've went off independently this last year and a half, you've kind of, I've had to pick and choose what's really priority. What do I really want to
Mm.
put the money towards when I have some to spend as I continue to invest in my business, truthfully, right now. And so yesterday, after I don't even want to say how much time I went and got my hair done, and it felt, you can't tell because I put it up for this. It felt so good in all the ways. Like the whole experience, she was top notch. The head massage, I felt so confident walking out of the salon, whether I had a place to go or not. It did not matter. It
I
felt so
know
good.
that's right.
Yeah.
I know that's right. My youngest is actually graduating from cosmetology school
Oh,
in
yay.
2 days. And I had to explain to her, I said, do you understand the gift that you have?
Mhm.
And she was like, 21. Do I really got to hear this? I'm trying to head out the door with my
Right.
friends.
Yeah.
I was like, you have a gift because someone walks into the salon, they may feel down, they may not have confidence, but when you're done, they look at themselves and say, I look good, I
Yeah.
feel good, I got this. That is a gift.
It's such a gift. And that is exactly how I felt when I walked out of there yesterday.
I
It was,
love it.
thank you.
I love it. So, what's your personal empowerment theme song?
I mean, there's so many to choose from because I do love music, and music is such a therapeutic
Yeah.
outlet, depending on the headspace that you're in that day. But from a just to get me fired up type of vibe, I love most anything by Pink, but my favorite song by her is Just Like Fire.
Girl,
Yeah.
that's my jam.
Is
Okay. My
it?
girlfriend Sarah turned me on to that when I did a podcast with her in May. And I asked her, and she said, just like fire.
Mm,
I went out, I listened to that song just about every morning.
yeah. I love that. Love that. And I
Yes.
do too. I listen to it almost every day. I can, it's easy to pop it up on my phone, and it's like, yeah, it makes me say to myself, let's go. I've got this.
Yes. It is a song that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
I love that song. So yes, and it's funny because you know what? It's just confirmation because
Mhm.
Sarah turned me on to it, and here you are, Jennifer, saying it again.
It is. It is affirmation for you. I love it. So
I
good.
love it. So, what's your story? Tell us your story.
I think that's the most powerful question that anybody can ask somebody. And my story is certainly one that I embrace, that it is solely unique to me, and I'm very proud of. honestly. And it starts, Indianapolis, born and raised, and to an amazing family. And life was going really, really well until 2 weeks before sixth grade. And, I think God had different plans for us when my mom passed unexpectedly within 48 hours of a family cookout that we hosted at our home. Um, so I've been through, grief at a very young age, and no one teaches you how to grieve. No one knows how to do that as an adult, let alone as an 11-year-old. And so I went all in weeks after she passed by picking up the tennis racket that she had gotten for me for Christmas, the Christmas before that, so a few months before that, and picked it up and didn't put it down for 7 years. And I think that being able to look back now, that was a way of kind of handling everything and potentially masking everything. I really thought I was doing a great job of kind of expressing my emotion through that way. And also, I don't, that's one form of coping mechanism, whether you want to call that healthy or unhealthy. Fast forward, I've spent a career in sales after I graduated Ball State University, and I was in corporate sales, thriving in 2015-16, hit the pinnacle of what sales is when it comes to President's Club. I was in the top, few percent of sales executives, and was thriving and loved it. Loved the organization, loved my leadership team, loved the culture. I thought, well, this was fun. Let's do this again. Let's go back to back. And again, at 34, the same age my mom was when she passed, my life changed again when I suffered a life-changing stroke. So that's been 6 years ago now. And that's really when this overall self-development and work began. Truthfully, it's been 6 years of diving really deep into my own healing and transformational process to really get to where I am in this moment by creating my own business a couple of years ago called Just Commit Coaching.
I love it. So it's the resilience.
That's
Do
a
you
big
feel as
word.
if your resilience, as children, they always say children are resilient, but as an adult, going through that health emergency, because
Mm-hmm.
a stroke is a health
Oh,
emergency.
yeah.
How did you tap into that 11-year-old
Mm,
to lean on that resilience?
what a powerful question. I don't think I knew I was tapping into her then. It's being able to reflect back now and know, going through my coaching certification in 2021, so 2 years ago, that she is within me, and she's probably who helped me the most get to where I've gotten, is really recreating and developing a true relationship with who she is and who she was, honestly. And I have a picture in my office that I look at every day, and she just brings me innate joy.
Wow. It's very powerful to visit our inner child, especially when we're going through something, because it seems that a memory from childhood or something pops up in those moments of reflection. That is so powerful, Jennifer.
Thank you. And I do want to share when it comes to the inner child work, because I've done a lot of it now in the last couple of years, but I think even now, so you and I are in the minority of knowing the power that is in that work. And that's where the true healing is, no
Mhm.
matter what. Um, having done a lot of this work, the 7-year-old Jennifer and the 11-year-old Jennifer are so different.
Mm.
And so I did the healing work with the 11-year-old Jennifer. Um, I do have a picture, though, of my 7-year-old self in here, because she's who I believe I am at my innate core.
Mhm. I get that. You know, I'm the host. I have to keep it together. I can't, I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you right now, I'm tearing up because it makes me think about 9-year-old Renee, who I frequently have conversations with. When an insecurity surfaces, it's from 9-year-old Renee.
Mm-hmm.
So to
It's
hear your story, it's like I tear up because 9-year-old Renee and Renee today, we
Mm,
have some conversations. Why do I feel this way? And I'll hear that little voice saying, because when this happened on this day, and that's why.
so innocent. Oh, yeah, it's so many people I would invite to. I think you have to be ready
Yeah,
to want to grab
definitely.
that picture and see it in a different way than you would see it if you just, you know, grabbed a box of old pictures and you started just flipping through the pictures.
Hmm.
But to really be in the headspace of really seeing him or her and knowing she's still with you, she's a part of you. And
Hmm.
anytime that there is um, conflict or outside noise or anxiousness, what I've learned, I'm such a huge fan of Mel Robbins and her work, and she shares this with her audience on her podcast. Is anytime you feel that internal conflict or whatever sensations are happening in your body, that's usually just your younger self wanting to be seen or heard
Hmm.
or felt.
Validated.
That's
Hmm.
right.
Yes. I when I started my process, it really started through blogging and writing. And I would write all the time, but hadn't made it to a place where I wanted to share it with the world until 2022. And when I wrote on my blog, July was able, and it was acknowledge, believe, love, and encourage, but it was all about the inner child.
Mm.
And I could frequently take my inner child, I take her out to lunch and we spend time together because I think that you are so right. This insecurities that surface, it is really tied to inner child work. Yeah, it's really
I
tied.
believe
I,
that too.
I I believe that,
Me too.
and you got me tearing up already. I got to keep it together.
No, you don't. Not for me, you don't. I welcome all of it.
So, why did you become a life coach?
The power that my life coach had on me at a time
Mm,
when I needed something, somebody outside of my family and friends. And it was about a year and a half after my stroke that I really battled keeping it together. You know, as society tells you, like, okay, I went back to corporate sales. I'm trying to show up every day at a high level and try and, serve my customers and show up for my team. And yet every day I'm crying in my car
mm,
uncontrollably and don't know why. And there was this part of of what I felt like fear was eating me up inside. Anxiety was eating me up inside of, am I going to have another stroke? That
mm,
was certainly playing in my head. And a friend recommended, why don't you try a life coach? And this was 2018, so it's not like it was back in 20 years ago, but also 5 years ago, life coaching isn't what it is even now. And so to be told to reach out to a life coach, I hadn't even considered that, and I'm so thankful that she recommended this. And I met with this life coach in a coffee shop every other week for about 8 months, and she sat with me and without judgment, without bias, and gave me permission, the
mhm.
permission I needed to know that these tears that keep showing up, those are meant to come up and out. They're not meant to be stored in your body anymore. There's no need to fight them or push them down, which is what a lot of women are taught in society to
Oh, yes.
do. That that physically hurts to do that. It physically hurts to fight back tears.
Mhm,
Your body's taking tabs on that. It's noticing, like, it hurts your head, it hurts your chest, it hurts everywhere to keep it bottled up. So
mhm.
why not give yourself permission to, it's just energy that needs to be let go of and released for you to breathe a little bit easier. And she did that for me. It was the
It
power of
makes
our
me
work together.
happy to hear you say that because we have to give ourselves permission to put ourselves first.
Right.
Because if we don't, how do we show up just for ourselves and the people that we love?
Exactly.
So it warms my heart to hear that because and I do believe that as women, the idea of giving ourselves permission to put ourselves first is kind of taboo
Right.
because we're taught we nurture. So we don't come first. Family, the children, the significant other or spouse comes first. And putting yourself first then is diminished to I'm just going to go get a petty and a medi, and even then you get that you feel good because you're having this time away, but on the way home you're like, even though my nails look good and my feet
Mm.
feel great, I still feel like I'm missing something. What advice would you give women that are going through that?
I would ask the question, how is what you're doing right now working for you?
Yes.
Like, answer that question for you. I could give you an answer, but I want you to be able to acknowledge and know that it's okay that it's not working anymore and that it's not okay. And I always share this. I think the catchphrase kind of picked up last year, where it's not okay to be not okay,
Hmm.
but it's not okay to stay not okay.
Right. I think that's another precursor to chronic disease.
I do too. I do too.
We push it down. We don't listen to our bodies. The sensations in our bodies, it's letting you know that it's okay to not be okay. Can you help me, please?
Right. And that's another thing for women too. It's like asking for help.
Mhm.
Don't already create these stories in your head that nobody's going to want to help me. Everybody's too busy. I can't ask for help. I can do this by myself because everybody else is doing it by themselves. First of all, is that true? Is any of that
Right.
true?
And is it necessary?
Right. Just because that's the way it used to be done, or that's the way it worked for maybe your mom and her mom and this whole generational. It's like this is our time as women to kind of stop the generational stories that were put on us because that's what we were taught.
Hmm.
Now's the time to create the change. And it all starts with you because your kids are going to witness this as well. They're paying attention.
Oh, yes. Little sponges.
That's right. That's right. And yes. And I will say I've had a couple of people recently within the last couple of weeks. So again, timing is everything always. That have asked me, do I coach teenagers? Because
Hmm.
they could use help and support right now. My question, I guess I have not I've challenged one out of the two on this. Is have have you worked with a coach?
Right.
It starts with you. You can't skip over you to them.
Right. Um, I agree with you with that 100 times over. When I started my journey, my kids, I had the youngest was still home, but in the later years of high school, and my older two were out of the house. But as my journey started to grow and as I started to change, they were still sponges.
Mm,
They started to recognize that and to incorporate what mom was doing in their lives.
powerful. Love that.
You
Thank
know,
you for sharing that. I want people to hear that. Just
you
because
know.
they're not 7 anymore, they're paying
Hmm.
attention always.
Hmm.
The
So
good and the not so good, the,
it
habits
ties
and
into that.
behaviors. Yeah.
It definitely does. It ties into that question that you asked that parent who wanted the coaching for the team. What have you done for yourself lately?
Yes. And most of them, I have an idea. I'm not going to assume an answer, but I have a pretty solid guess
Hmm.
of what
A
that
lot
is.
of times we do assume an answer, but we don't say anything. I frequently remind myself that even though I can assume an answer, it's not my place to do that.
Right. Same. I agree.
Complex human beings. We all are different. We're so complex,
That we
so
are.
we can either shake it off or carry it on, you know.
It's it and I to add to that, through this last 6 years for me, I had to finally realize you aren't going to overcome anything without going through it.
Mm,
So many people want to overcome it, step over it without going through it. And as Brene Brown says, you got to embrace the suck.
mhm,
And that's what my coach said to me 5 years ago, which I didn't process right then in that moment. But it was like, yeah,
mhm,
I've got to feel, you have to feel to heal.
mm, mm,
let's write that down. I haven't said it like that before, and I really like it. But you do.
mhm,
You can't think your way through healing. It's never gonna. You're never gonna heal from up here in your mind.
mhm.
You've got to drop in.
I love it because we have to just stay on that what you just said just for a second a little longer. You have to feel to heal
Hmm.
because we have a lot of people that will listen to what you just said and reply, I don't have time. For me, I don't have time means that's not a
That's
priority.
right. That's what it means to me too.
So, oh, I'm too busy. I'm so busy. It's still, that's not a priority. So, what advice would you give to someone that lives behind that I'm too busy? Oh, I don't have time. When really they're saying it's not a priority. Why wait until something tragic happens? A health
Right.
scare,
Oh man.
or something like that. Even a mental burnout, breakdown, whatever we want to call it. What advice would you give to someone that hides behind the I'm so busy? And we know that
Yeah.
hides behind that it's not a priority for me right now.
And people don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. Um, a powerful phrase that our coach said to us, and it's something that has stayed with me ever since, for a lot of us, former high achievers and
Mhm.
go, 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 do, do, do. She's like, when you want to speed up, slow down.
Mm. I'm gonna keep that in mind, Jennifer.
Yeah. Can happen when you slow down for an hour. It gives me chills. I have chills right now. When you're able to slow down for an hour or a half a day or a
Mhm.
day, how are you going to show up then after that? My guess is so much better than if you were to just continue to push through and
Mhm.
and think that you're busy and that you have to do all these things.
Mhm.
My advice always, slow down.
Slow down. And to be quite honest with you, I like the slow down part.
Who doesn't?
I I rather enjoy it.
It is the best.
Yes.
And it's
I
like,
I
yeah.
rather enjoy it so much. I love it when my dog is looking at me and it's late and I've been working all day and Rain is looking at me like, sis,
That's right.
it's time to turn that off.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I
Yes.
often think, what would I do without her?
I don't even want to think about that because mine is we just sat outside before I hopped on this today, and just to be just
Yes.
our coach, she challenged us last year when I was in this small coaching group. The invitation was go outside for 7 minutes
Mm,
and just notice what you notice. Bring in all the senses.
mhm,
What do you notice? And we came back and it was so cool. And we were all in different parts of the world, but just to see what everyone noticed, right? Whether it's something to do with nature, whether you notice
mhm,
the wind blowing or a different type of bird that you haven't witnessed before, or you, as crazy as it may sound, you see ants in a different way.
mhm,
They're just there, right? Normally we're going to walk by and like smash them or whatever we do, or not even notice them. But it's the smallest of things that can really bring a little extra slowness, clarity, calmness.
mhm,
Um, yeah, acknowledge that you're blessed.
mhm. Evoking transcendence. It is evoking all of those character strengths that we already possess: gratitude,
Yes.
hope.
Everything you want Everything that
appreciation of beauty and excellence, all
e
of those things.
all those things, and they're within you.
Mhm,
It's just as a coach being able to hold a mirror up for you
mhm,
to see it versus
mhm,
looking externally for the answers. It's all within you.
mhm, and I
That's
think
the
it's
power.
nice that we get opportunity to talk about it because it is reflection for us as well.
Totally. Oh, more than half the time when I'm coaching somebody or I'm speaking to an audience or doing something like this, there's always something that I am meant to hear that day for me.
Mhm.
Always. It's cool. And
It is cool.
it is cool. And it's just, I also think too that our minds are open to seeing it, right? And hearing it and acknowledging it. It's self-awareness is always step number one to this type of work. And some people are aware, some people are not aware, some people are choosing not to be aware because they don't want to face what they have to face to honestly get to the other side, which is where the magic and freedom and everything you ever want is. It's going through it
Mhm.
first.
I love that because it's just so relatable. And as you're saying it, I sit up a little taller.
Mm,
And the reason I sit up a little taller is because I'm glad about coming out on the other side for a particular thing that I needed to grow, an area where I needed to grow. Of course, everyone has areas where they're still needing to grow,
right.
but the areas where the growth has happened, during this conversation, I sit up a little taller, like, that was me.
That's right. That's right.
you know, that was me. I had an anniversary date of the start of my growth journey.
Okay.
My journey started July 9th, 2016.
Oh,
So when July 9th was here, I was like, today is the 9th, you know, today is it. So I put me on a little Anthony Hamilton and I sat back down and I said, get it, girl,
that's right.
because
Yeah.
I celebrate that day.
Heck yeah. My question to you is have you always celebrated that day? What was it like on, year 1, July 9th, year 2, year 3 to now?
Year 1 and year 2, I still, criticized myself for what I didn't see because I had so many high expectations about what I wanted to achieve in a certain amount of time. I
Okay.
was still running on those fumes of, I'm only good enough if I meet this particular goal. Even if the goal was at Mars and it wasn't attainable. I found a reason to nitpick and to cloud myself with negative chatter.
Mhm.
It was not until maybe, I would say, year 4 where I really started to appreciate the growth from year 1, year
Mhm.
2, and year 3. And then when I made it to year 4, I was like, girlfriend, what we doing today? And sometimes I remember that too because Fantasia, I loved her music. I love her music.
Okay.
And I remember in year 4, my daughter was like, "Do we have to listen to Fantasia all day?" I was like, "Yes, because I'm celebrating
That's
today.
right.
What are you cooking for me? It's an anniversary date."
That's right.
And my baby was like, uh, "It's not your birthday." I remember
Mm,
looking at Keon. Keon walked away thinking, should I call my brother and see what I'm missing? Because I think I know everything about mom. But it was a celebration of that time. It was a celebration of that time. So I feel every day is a blessing because I walked around in a shadow of, am I still going to be here? Because I was riddled with disease. I had hypertension and diabetes.
mhm.
And diabetes was dancing, honey, having a good time in my body. I think that they were having their own festival. It was having its own festival.
Yeah.
And I had to take control of that.
Yep.
And during that process, I had a lot of thoughts of, will I still be here? I did. I had a lot of thoughts about, will I still be here? And It's it is still being here that I feel so grateful.
Mm,
I feel very grateful because it's a blessing every day because I can remember feeling so sick and not being able to get out the bed. My blood sugars at 4 and 500 and I didn't know
yeah,
what was happening and where I was going to be. So to me every day is a reason to dance.
that's right. And I hope that you do. And
Oh
I,
girl.
whoa, what a message. And I just want to acknowledge you for sharing that today. And I hope that people in your audience hear that. And I hope from my standpoint, from a stroke survivor standpoint, that they hear that, because some don't
Mhm.
see. And I can only speak for myself and my experience and know that I'm very blessed that physically I'm able to walk and drive, and
Yeah.
I know not everybody's able to do that, and but there's a difference between the people that can't do that and still see their life as a blessing and they're finding
Mhm.
ways to thrive, versus people that aren't able to do that and have fully adapted a victim mentality, which is
Mhm.
my signature talk and topic, because so many people have adapted that, not just stroke survivors, but anybody that has not fully understood yet that they are survivors of every single thing that they have been through up till this moment.
I know that's right, Jennifer.
And that's my message, and my mission is to share that with so many people, and get tap, show them how they can tap back into their power and not let things outside of their control continue to control them, which is what I witness happening all around me.
Would you say that the outside of their control is more driven by fear? And if you do agree with that, how can they tap into that fear or
Mm.
maybe even just smart goals to move past that fear at some point? Because how did you do it?
Yeah, I think it was great question. I think it was through, again, going through my coaching process, like my actual certification process. I tell people, if I don't serve another client, that was the most healing and transformational work I've ever done for me still. And a big part of that, especially knowing that I was going to launch this coaching business and be this solopreneur, there's lots of fear that comes up for
Oh,
sure.
yes. That's a whole nother
That's
podcast
a,
we're gonna
that's
have
a
to
whole nother show.
talk about.
But through the work and watching all these other humans, beautiful humans in this experience that I had, there's 200 of us from all over the world going through this process together. It was establishing a new relationship with fear and
Mm,
understanding fear is not a fact, it's a feeling.
mm,
So really doing what we call somatic work or embodiment work, and really being able to ask yourself, when that fear does show up, where do you feel it? Where do you feel it right now? Because your body's telling you, right? You
mhm.
either get nerves in your stomach, or you feel it in your tightness in your chest, or in your throat, or where is that? And giving it that space to be there. Because it will come up, it will dissipate. If you just acknowledge it and see why it's there. Fear, when it comes up, it's also knowing it's your ultimate protector. That's what it's doing. It's protecting you. It wants
Mm,
to keep you safe. It may want to keep you small. It just doesn't want to see you get hurt, right? Whether that's big or small, whether I'm stepping on a stage, or you're doing some huge risk taking adventure somewhere,
mhm.
your body's going to tell you don't, or
Yeah.
your mind is going to tell you don't.
Think again.
That's
Think ag
right.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
So then it's that dialogue that you have with it, and not letting it win that conversation. Saying, I see you. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it, really. But I'm going to put you in the back seat today, and I'm still going to drive my own car.
Mm. So, it sounds to me like we're tapping into my next question because, my follow-ups are my brain is buzzing, okay?
Okay. It's fun. I feel it. I love it.
It sounds like you're describing something that's inherent to your program, which is embracing your inner
Mm,
warrior.
mm,
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Cause you know, like Jennifer, girl.
mm. The conversation today, Renee, has flowed so well into what it means to embrace your inner warrior. And I've shared what embracing your inner warrior is like. You know, I've spoken to several groups over the past year, and I list out five, six, seven things what it can look like for you to embrace what I call a warrior mentality or
Mhm,
embrace your inner warrior. So that's everything from, again, controlling your controllables. So, really questioning in every single situation that you're in, what can I control in this moment? Really
mhm,
pay attention, right? And what can I let go of? What is out of my control? And being able to let that go. Another powerful one and a tool for everyone is not only creating, it's working on your own self-awareness,
mhm,
but it's that self-dialogue. What am I
mhm,
saying when I first get up in the morning? As a Both for men and women, but I will speak to specifically women today because I know as a woman how critical we can be in the mirror. Right? When I get up out of the
mhm,
shower and look in the mirror, how critical have I been of myself over the years with regards to what my weight, my skin, my
mhm,
hair,
mhm,
all the things versus acknowledging, damn, I'm proud of you. You've got this today. I love you. Saying those positive type of affirmations every day. And it's simple. It's certainly not easy, but the more you do that, that is training your brain and creating new neural pathways, new ones to continue to do that with you every day.
mhm,
So so that's certainly you spoke of gratitude, also huge, and also a way to train your brain to continue to find the gratitude in each and every day. And I tell people you could write down a list of 10 things on a great day. If everything's going well,
Yeah,
I'm
you
going to
did
write
it.
down everything because it's all going really well.
Mhm.
The challenge is on the hard days.
Yes.
Dig deep and find it.
Yes, I found it that way too as going through my journey, that it was so easy to affirm myself when the days were going well.
Yeah.
But when the days weren't going well, it's like all of that went out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And what I started doing, and actually, these same sticky notes, they've been up there. Oh, wow, it's 2020. So they're 8 years old. Same sticky notes
Love it.
on my mirror
Yeah.
because I wanted to remind myself to still affirm myself,
Yeah.
whether it's a good, bad, or ugly day,
That's right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Who
And I
if
look at them now and I'm like, it's all crinkly on the edges, but, it's still holding on to that mirror.
That's right. That's right. And you're not able to receive the hype from someone else
Mhm,
fully if you can't give it to yourself first. As a girl that used to seek external validation,
mhm,
it was like I've I've been able to flip that switch. And it allows for the hard days to not feel so hard.
mhm,
When you can tap into two, three things that can bring a smile to your face or to bring you innate joy.
mhm,
The very small things, the small things are the big things.
mhm.
Always.
Especially when you bet on yourself. When you
Every
bet
day.
on yourself and walk into entrepreneurship, you're a solopreneur, you're betting on yourself,
That's
you
right.
wanna be able to tap into that. Because mindset misfits, when
Mm.
you are an entrepreneur, they start to visit you early in the morning, whatever time that you think the most.
So true. It's so true. And I also will share something I learned on a women's retreat that I went on last year is from a guide. He was guiding us through a breathwork session, which I had done a couple breathwork sessions before, and I just heard this as a different perspective. Because if I question you without any prompts or any guidance, how long could you hold your breath? What would you say?
I don't know. I mean, I do breath work all the time.
Okay, so you may
Yeah, that's my go-to.
Oh, I
It could
love
be in the
that.
middle of the day and I'm in a meeting. I'm
Yeah,
talking right before, and I'll stop and close my eyes and go into some breath work.
that's so good. It's so powerful. People just don't know yet how powerful what you already have within you, what it can actually do for you. And so he guided us through holding our breath, and we held it for almost 2 minutes
Mhm.
with his guidance. I think without his guidance, I would have never. My mind would have told me, you can't do this.
You
You got
got
to
it.
breathe. It's getting hard, right? You feel like you're suffocating. And that was all to do this ice bath that we then did, which was my first ice bath, which was an incredible experience. And he just said, don't let your mind tell you what to do. You tell your mind what to do.
Wow.
I was like,
Girl, I gotta ask. You did the ice bath?
I did the ice bath.
Yeah. I dipped a toe in it. 3 seconds. I made it 3 seconds. I'm
Okay,
encouraged now. I'll try again. I'll try to make it 5, and
you
I
can do
will
it.
do more than a toe next time.
You can do it. You can do it. And it's all about it's about the breath.
Yeah.
And you telling yourself in your mind that you can do this.
Mhm. And walking up to do it, mom, I was not. I was like, "Oh my god, it's going to be cold.
Yeah,
It is going to be cold."
right.
You know.
And it is. I can tell you that. Was it worth it? 110%.
Wow.
It was. Just to know that I could do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to go buy myself a ice bath and put it out in my backyard and do it every day. Some people do that. I don't know if I'm there yet. And it's also like, even, when my shower's warming up in the mornings, get in a minute sooner. If it
Mhm.
feels cold, because it's going to warm up. And it's taking it just teaches me to take slower, deeper breaths and not like hyperventilate like we're taught to do when you feel cold, right? Like that's not serving. Yeah,
It's a
that's gonna make you panic. It's
You're
like
right.
just breathe slow. It calms you. It's such a health benefit to do it for you, for everybody.
You have encouraged me. I it's funny, you've been saying it over and over, timing is everything. And you mentioned this, and, I'm like, "How does she know?"
Yeah. Timing is
Literally, I'm like,
everything always. I know that. I know that.
"Where can me timers, learn more about your business?"
Yes, I am so open for connection. And so my website is justcommitcoaching.com. And on there, you can schedule a free call with me. I love to just connect and, you know, have a exploratory conversation with you and just support you in whatever you may be going through. I do a lot of LinkedIn work.
Oh,
Love
okay.
connecting with leaders on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook just under Jennifer Chapman and Instagram at Indie Life Coach. So would love to connect with your audience and support and serve where I can.
Okay. Yeah, Mind Escape Vibe, we're on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my go-to as well. I'm gonna make sure I look for you so we can connect.
Let's do it. That'd be great.
Yes, yes. So I have one more question for you.
Okay.
What advice would you give your younger self to
Ooh,
cultivate self-trust?
that's all that matters at the end of the day is that you have everything within you if you just trust yourself. Trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust your heart,
Mm,
and it will lead you where you are meant to go.
mm.
Don't make me cry.
I know I was having a flood of emotions too. It has been just a joy having you on the podcast. I feel like today, the kindred spirit, like that's you for me today.
Mm, I
And
receive that. Oh,
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. You're a gift. You doing this work is a gift.
And I hope you come back on
I would love to. I would love
because
to.
yeah, I'm thinking in Q4 I'm wanting to do more panel discussions
Okay.
where I have two coaches on and then I have three additional guests. And this has just been in my head, but I'd like to do that and I'd like to stream it live
Oh,
on
awesome.
YouTube.
Awesome. I'm here for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Women empowerment all day long for me.
Yes, because I think the conversations are worth having. And also, I just have to say it. I hope she somebody knows Oprah and says, "Let me just listen to this young lady who's been talking."
Oh,
I channel my Oprah every time I say, "Welcome to Me Time with Mind Escape Vibe."
I hope she hears you. We're putting it out into the universe. Oprah is my jam. I love me some Oprah. Oh man, I've listened to all of her what is that? Super Soul Sunday
Yes.
podcasts more than once, truthfully. And the depth of those conversations and the wisdom that is shared there has that during a time in my life in 2018 and 19, that's when I was listening to all of that. And that created such a positive and powerful shift in perspective for me.
Yeah, it's the shift in perspective. I love to have conversations with like-minded individuals, but at the same time, the guests that are on this podcast, they feed my soul.
I feel that.
They feed my soul. Even if I don't agree with them when we're talking about something, my soul is fed
Yeah,
because I'll get off and say, "Okay, Lord, I know you're still working on me. I heard them."
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so good.
yeah.
Yeah, this was a treat. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. So, me timers, the joy of the day, Mrs. Jennifer Chapman. Check her out. Check her out. And be on the lookout for our panel discussion because I just put it out in the universe. So,
That's
you
right.
know what that means. I'll be working on
It's
it.
coming. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Thank you so much for the opportunity today.
Thank you. All right, me timers, you heard it here first with Me Time with Mind Escape Vibe, where it is your time to be kind to your mind. Have a great day now.